Welcome to the Give Back Lab. I'm your host, Daniela DiGrandi. You've entered a space where bold voices, real stories, and unfiltered conversations come to life. Here in the lab, we're breaking bias, shifting thinking, and exploring the power of giving back through truth, vulnerability, and diverse perspectives. We celebrate diversity of thought and everything beautiful that makes us human. This isn't just talk, it's real, it's raw, and it's exactly the kind of space we need. We're unlearning, relearning, and evolving together. Let's dive in. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today at the Give Back Lab. Today, I'm honored to be with Ari Galper, who is here to talk to us about trust-based selling. He is a global leader in trust-based selling. Ari, thank you so much for joining us today.
Pleasure. Really looking forward to this conversation.
I am so looking forward to this conversation because I love the whole idea of trust-based selling. When I think about selling, it's kind of like used car salesmen's run through my head, right? That pressure, the trying to figure out, what are they not telling me, that kind of thing. So tell us a little bit about trust-based selling and your journey of how you got here. What is it?
Sure. I think let's start with a story that was a big pivot for me a couple decades ago to wake me up to what this concept's about. So I used to be a sales manager in a software company, and we launched the first online website tracking tools for website data collection. Now it's called Google Analytics, but back then
Yeah.
we were the first one to create that. And so I was managing 18 people underneath me, salespeople, and I got the big opportunity that came across my desk. And one day I got a phone call from the website from a big company, a contact. He says, Ari, look, we want to see what you guys can do for us. We have tons of websites. And honestly, if I close this one deal, it'll double the sales in one transaction. That's how big it was. So the day
Wow.
came to a scheduled call we all had together. So it was 4 o'clock Friday afternoon. I'll never forget it. I was in my conference room with our CEO, the big long conference table. On the table was the old school speakerphone. Remember the Polycon
Oh,
start?
yes, the polycoms. Yes.
So I hit the speakerphone. The dial tone came up. I dialed the number. And my guy's like, "Hey, Ari, how's it going?" I said, "Great." He's like, "Let us share with you who's with us on the phone line today." I said, "Great." Next thing I hear is, "My name is Mike. I'm CEO." I was like, "Oh, this is good."
Uh,
"My name is George. I'm head of global IT." Perfect. "My name is Mary. I'm head of global marketing." I'm like, "Oh my God, this is perfect. These are all decision makers. If this is going to happen
Right,
today, it's going to, it's going to happen." So then
right,
I said, nice. I introduced myself, had them log into like an old school webinar tool back then and started showing them a live demo on their website to show what it looks like to see all their information. It's the first time they're seeing this. So we all
right.
log in. I started walking through everything. And I started hearing this noise on the phone call, like, wow, this is great. This is amazing. They start asking me all kinds of questions. How does it work? How do we install it? How does the tech work? And of course, I had all the answers. I was competent. I mean, there was so much chemistry on this phone call. It was like a love fest on the phone. You know what I'm talking?
Yeah, I love it. I know it when it feels so good.
They got the questions, you got the
Yeah,
answers. You're saying to yourself,
yeah.
"Oh my God, this is such a good fit." There's no resistance. And I was doing my normal thing. I wasn't being aggressive, just explaining things, being friendly. At the end of the call, about an hour goes by. My contact says to me, "Ari, this is amazing. We love this. Give us a call a couple of weeks, follow up with us, and we'll move this thing forward." I'm like, "Oh my God, thank you, God." I was like
Right,
so
right,
excited. I said my goodbyes. I took my arm and hand to reach for the speakerphone, hit the off button. As I'm reaching for the off button, by complete accident, I hit the mute button instead of the off button. They were right next to each other, and a
right,
click
right,
happened, and they thought I hung up the phone.
right.
In that split second, a voice inside of me said, "Ari, go to the dark side. Be a fly in the
Yeah,
go where no one's ever gone before in the world of selling." So I pulled my thumb back for a couple of seconds. They started talking amongst themselves, thinking I had left the call.
right.
Now, this is not a trick question, but what do you think? What would you imagine they would have said after a call like that? What would you expect them to say?
So having been in those kind of calls, sometimes you get the excitement while you're on the call and you're being exposed, and then once that disconnect happens, the questioning comes in. The seems too good to be true. That's totally canned. What we're trying to find all of the negatives, right? Because we are so programmed that way.
Well, let me share with you what they said verbatim, word for word. I'll never
Yeah.
forget while we're here today. Here's what they said. They said, "We're not gonna go with him. Keep using him for more information and make sure we shop someplace else cheaper." Knife and heart twist. I was in a state
Oh
of
my god.
shock. I mean, after
Oh
a
my
call like
god.
that, and I finally had enough strength to reach for the phone, hit the off button, and I looked at the wall and I said to myself, "What did I do wrong?" I was competent. I was friendly. I was relationship oriented. I could help them with their problem, but they still felt comfortable not telling me the truth.
Mm,
So I realized right there and then that selling has become a dysfunctional relationship where both parties are not on the same page. The authenticity is not there. The trust is not there. And I decided to launch my own premise and platform on the concept that your goal is not to make the sale anymore. Your goal is to build enough trust with them where they feel comfortable telling you the truth.
right.
And that became the
Right.
whole premise behind trust-based selling over the years called Unlock the Sales Game.
Yeah, and I love that example because it is so true in all aspects of life, not just in
Yeah,
selling, right?
so true.
So, I mean, right now we are in a horrible job market.
Yes.
And what's happening in this job market right now are people are posting jobs that may exist or may not exist, and they're getting free consulting out of it,
Right.
right? At that VPC level role, there are so many people out of work
Right.
that companies right now are doing that sort of thing. What you overheard them say about let's use them to get information. Think
Right.
about it, right? It's same kind of concept. Let's interview 3 to 5 really top-notch candidates, have them come in, give us a case study review, right? Give us their information, and then let's go with either nobody, the internal candidate, or, with the lowest paid, right? Or whatever it is. But that concept is so true in all aspects of
Yes.
both business and the world, right? So how do you okay, so that is how you came to this
Yeah.
realization.
Yes.
And how do you execute on it, right? You come to
Right.
this realization, and how do you hit the ground running with it?
Well, first starts with a mindset shift because this is very much letting go of what people are conditioned to do. So our whole frame is the concept of not selling anymore, but being more of a doctor and a patient metaphor in your mind. So you're now the
Mm,
doctor, right? You're no longer selling anything. So when you go see a doctor, what's the first step you have to do with them? You have to first schedule a meeting with them. Then
right,
you have to schedule in your calendar an extra 15 minutes in case of traffic.
right,
So you get there and you wait in the waiting room and you wait, but you don't invoice them for your time because that's not how it works. You're not
right,
happy, but you're compliant. Then you show
right,
up and they say to you, "Where does it hurt?" And then you
right,
say, "My shoulder." He says, "Ah, let's get an X-ray, see what's going on." He does a deep diagnostic with you and says, "Here's the problem. Your shoulder injury is a result of a blood clot in your right calf." You're like, "What? Really? I had no idea." And then you write your prescription, and you go out and you go to the front desk. You do one more thing. You pay him not for solving your problem, only for clarity on the problem. The pharmacist dispenses the medicine, not the doctor. Now, back to selling. What we do unconsciously, we are oftentimes the pharmacist and the doctor and the front desk all in one.
right,
So
right.
we don't create that trust. We don't use empathy. We dispense the medicine too early, talking about our solution. We start doing free consulting once we qualify them, and the whole thing gets so messy. At the end, they say to you this, which is oftentimes they say, "Thank you so much. I'll have to think about it."
Yeah, right.
And so what we have done is breaking that apart into a process called the one call sale, where in one meeting with someone, say via Zoom, you can build enough trust with them without having to do any selling at all, any free consulting, even any relationship building, which is so out of character for people who sell because we think our job is to build a relationship with someone. And it is post sale, but not pre sale. Here's why: because real relationships take a lot of time to create. At the
Right.
end, you get trust. You don't have time in a couple calls to build
Right.
relationship with them. So our whole concept is the idea of trust building, not relationship building. That's a
Right.
big bomb for people who are so locked into this. Hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you. So what do you do? Oh my God, I love your glass. See, that's the whole fake rapport thing that people know a
Yeah.
mile away is fake.
Right. Right. And so how do you coach people that are in that space
Sure.
to shift that, right? Because that also ties to the it takes 5 to 10 touches or 8 touches or whatever, right? You get a marketing guy that'll tell you it takes this many touches before this person will respond to you. And I very much agree with you that the relationship building is once you get past the
Yes.
signing of the deal,
Exactly.
because anything pre-deal sign
Yes.
is people operating out of a negative space almost, right? Like,
They
how are
feel
you
like
gonna
you have
get me?
yeah, you have a hidden agenda. You're trying to be
Yeah,
all nice and
yeah.
friendly. Of course you're being nice and friendly for a reason.
Exactly. And so when you have such a negative attitude engaging, no matter how pleasant, I love your jacket, I love your tie, I totally get it. And all of the filler word conversation. Oh my god, nothing like gets me more than it's like, "It's just enough. You didn't need to say all those words. It's just word salad. Let's just have an actual conversation."
Correct.
I am a human that thrives on authenticity, right? You
Yeah,
can help me or you can't help me. I can help you or I can't help you.
exactly.
And I may not be able to actually mentally or physically help you with your problem, but I may have somebody I can connect you with, right? And so that rapport of not only being the person that can fix your problem or having the software that can fix your problem, but maybe being a connector. And then somewhere down the line, so today may not be your sale
Right,
because it's just not right fit. And
right.
if you sold it and they didn't use it or were miserable about it or whatever, I mean, think about the damage that it does versus what you just had. So true. How does someone, right? So we've gone through years and years and years of this training of sales, right? How do we shift that mindset?
Well, first
What is the work you're
we
doing?
have to detox from what I call hopium.
Yeah, I love it. I love that opium. Totally.
It's the hopium drug that we get the moment we feel the chemistry of somebody who could be sale, right?
Right.
You know, and that's because we're so wedded to the end goal being our goal, not their goal. We've been trained over the years to focus on moving them down a process, create momentum, create chemistry. And the minute they feel that from you, now it's over because selling as we know it has been commoditized.
Yes. Yes.
At hello, it's over. They can already have an image of you of what your goal is here. So here's how we help reframe the model. Okay. So let's do this live example.
Sure.
Let's say you have a lead that comes your way, whether it's LinkedIn or somewhere, and they agree to a first Zoom meeting with you. Okay.
Right.
Um, and they look like they're reasonably qualified. So here's kind of how our model works. So they show up on Zoom. First thing you say is this: "Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you as well." No more chit chat. How you heard about me? Saw your profile. No more, none of that stuff. No more filler. Next thing you
Right.
say is this: you say, "If you wouldn't mind, John, maybe take a step back for a moment. Walk me with your background, your situation, up to your current concerns you have with your business, and we'll go from there. Would that be okay with you?" And take your fingers like this over your mouth, sit back in a chair like a doctor, and go like that,
Mm,
like a
mm,
therapist. This does two things. One, it tells you physically not to do what?
right. Say anything.
Don't talk.
Mhm.
That's the
Shut
hardest
up.
part. Shut up. 'Cause we're so
Shut up.
wired to create momentum and fill the space. So you
Yeah.
go like this. So I'll say it again. You ask permission twice. If it's okay with you, if you wouldn't mind, take a step back for a moment. Walk me through your background and situation up to current concerns you have. We'll go from there. Would that be okay with you, John? Now, they're seeing you do this, so that gives them permission that you're creating space. You're
Right.
saying, "Look, this call is not about me today. I'm not
Right.
talking. I'm sorry. This is about you." That gives them permission now to start to download on you and tell you the truth of what their situation is.
Right.
That space alone is triggering them to feel comfortable opening up to you at hello. So then they start
Yeah.
and talking and talking. Now you're listening, but as an expert, oftentimes experts, as they hear the problem coming their way, their system starts to do what in the back of their mind?
Solve it.
Exactly.
Solutionize.
Yeah, because if you heard that problem 100 times, it's not new to you. You're in a
Right.
field, you know your stuff. So you're like, I gotcha. We can help you. Okay, so what you do is you don't try and solve the problem. You just listen to it. Slow yourself down, breathe, stay centered, be the doctor, don't be the pharmacist here. Its hardest part is make that switch. When they're
Mm.
calm and they're done talking, all you do is this, you just crystallize the core issues. So what I'm hearing from you is the core problem you have is X, Y, and Z. Is that right? And he goes, exactly. Checkbox number one, she listens.
Right.
They're hiring you on your approach, not your solution. That's the mindset
Right.
shift.
Yeah. Yeah. That's that's pretty incredible. I totally can see that playing out in action, right? Because it allows the other person that has the problem to explain about what they are feeling without you either assuming things or
Right.
putting things into,
Yes.
the old what assuming does. But no, I love that. I love that, you know, sit back and allow them the space to listen. Because very much when I coach and I go into corporations or companies, whatever it is that I do, I'm very much about I'm anti-playbook. I get into many arguments, discussions, discourse, whatever you'd like to call it, about people about that. Because to me, a playbook is handcuffs, right? You have different people at play, you have different processes, different compliance, different business needs. The world is different. I don't care if you're all selling the same widget, maybe depending where you sell it, and is that company international, et cetera, et cetera. If you operate by a playbook, then it's less malleable, and it's harder for people to really take it on to say, this is how you work for me,
Correct.
right? As a business. So I love that. I love the sit back and listen
Here's the thing. We
part
are
of
in
it.
what I call a trust recession right now.
Mm,
Okay. And if you are not conveying trust at hello, it's over at hello.
right,
If they sense anything that you're delivering to them has a sense of momentum to move them forward, it's over right there. Now, they'll be nice
right.
to you. They'll play the game with you, but they'll say to you, follow up with me and I'll get back to you later.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, yeah, no, sorry, go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
gonna hold
So,
it.
so the concept here is your only job in that meeting is trust building, not selling. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to flex. Talk about your case studies, talk about your background, talk about your it's not about you at all. You're the doctor,
Right,
they're the patient. You just simply start
right.
to diagnose in an empathetic, heartfelt way to unpack and peel back the onion to help them see the gravity and the seriousness of their problem. So, as we keep going down what I call the iceberg, the next question you ask is this one. You say, how long has that been a problem for?
Mm,
Last 6 months, we had an issue with our team. Okay. Next question. What have you done so far on your own to try and resolve that? Well, we hired a consultant. We tried this, didn't work. Oh, wow. Okay. This is called COI, cost of inaction. What's it costing his business right now by not solving the problem, reverse engineering the problem. So you might say, have you thought about or considered what the impact is to your team or your business right now by not having this solved? Have you calculated the cost of the business in terms of the impact emotionally, team productivity, or whatever ROI that's an impacting your company so we can build a business case around this? You're gonna help them build a business case around the losses, not the gains. See, selling is all about the future. Sell the future. What's your goals? What are you trying to achieve? What's your vision? Are you kidding me? They can't think past tomorrow.
Right. Who do and in today's day and age, Ari, who knows? AI this, COVID that.
Exactly.
We're here today, we're shut down tomorrow. There's a sanction, a tariff, a
Exactly.
war. Who knows? Who knows?
I just had a
Right.
client bring me some calls from his sales team, and I'm like, "Are you?" They're like, "What are your goals? What are you trying to do? What's your?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me? No wonder they're not converting people."
Yeah.
Guy's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I want to achieve X 10x." I'm like, "Great, we can help you with that." Oh my god! I mean, no, it's all about the losses because the problem, not the gains by solving the problem. Because see, people don't measure losses; they measure the gains. They don't want to talk about how much they're losing, but that's your
Right.
doctor to get to the truth
Right.
of what they're
Right.
ignoring.
Right. And it's a beautiful way of assessing true value, right? To your point of trust.
Yes.
If I get you to talk about these things you don't want to talk about, which are the losses and things, because it puts you in a very vulnerable position,
Yes.
right? Then we can have a then if I can bring you the ability to give you space to be vulnerable and
Yes.
talk about this, I can help you to see these things you may have been hiding from yourself.
Yes.
And that is how we start to build trust and rapport. Oh my God, I totally get it. I love it, love it,
This
love it,
this is sales
love it.
therapy one-on-one.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my God, I would love to be a fly in the wall on the wall in some of your meetings.
Absolutely, we wanna hire you right away.
Um,
So,
oh my God, so
so
fun.
when you just sit there and help them unpack their own problem, which they themselves have not thought about before, they immediately say to themselves this in their gut, they say, "She gets us.
Right,
She's not trying to sell us anything, she's trying to understand us at a deep level. My god, I think we can trust her." They hire you just on that. Not your s
right,
they already because 'cause we're all commoditized what we do. Like, they can shop around, but if you can have a different approach, they're hiring you on that. That's your differentiation, not your background,
right,
not your
right,
resume. They don't care about you. Nothing
right,
personal.
right. Yeah.
The last question you ask is this one. This is the most profound question of it all. Here it comes. Is this a priority for you
Mm,
to address and resolve once and for all? To finally eliminate this, or something you prefer kick down the road and take care of it later on. I'm okay either way.
right,
See, that's the $1,000,000 question because now they gotta own it and they gotta say, "You're right, you're right. No, we gotta get on to this as soon as possible. Obviously, you've helped me realize this is serious. You're the adult, they're the child. Are you gonna own
right,
this, Ronnie, or not? Because 'Cause I'm not gonna take this on unless you're gonna accept the fact your situation's serious. Now, is it a priority or not? So you're not trying to move them forward, trying to get them to own their own problem, to commit to it. Because human
right,
nature is not to commit to problems.
right. That's exactly right.
Just shop
And
around for solutions.
And if you get them to commit to the fact that they have a problem, they are more accountable for getting it fixed.
Yes. This is human nature we're
Yeah.
talking about here,
Yeah.
human condition that never changes. Humans don't wanna change. They'll
Yeah.
pretend they are by looking for solutions, but they will not commit until they own the problem itself in its entirety. That's the wake-up
Yes.
call.
Yes. I get that. I love that. I love it. So, just to tie this all back to that initial meeting that you had when you hit the mute button and you heard all of these things, what did you do from there? right? So
Yeah, people ask me all the time, "If you knew what you do now, what would you do back then?" Right? 'Cause
yeah, exactly.
they ghosted me. They were gone. So, the answer to that question is I never would have had the call.
Yeah.
Because on the first meeting, I would have flushed this guy out and saw that he had other agendas, and I never would have had that call because I'm not going to be seduced anymore by people who say things like, "Yeah, we want to get this. We're interested in this." I'm like, "Yeah, right. Let's focus on the problem first. Look at it, what the issues are. We'll go from there." So I will redirect the conversation into my doctor process, not play around with what he thinks we should be doing.
Right. Right. How do you reconcile? So in the old way of selling, and which exists very much in corporate right now, and even in startups, right? So I work across a lot of startups. I just spent time at the AI summit in New York,
Yeah,
and I'm getting a lot of LinkedIn requests. Can we talk to you? Can we talk to you? Can we show you our product? Um, some of them want to show me their product because they truly are startups and they're looking for feedback, right? What do you think? How does this resonate? And I am happy to sit with anybody and give them my opinion
sure.
based on my experience, and they can do with it what they want, right? I'm happy to support startups and entrepreneurs in their
Right,
growth. Love, love, love doing that. Um, but how do we reconcile the fact that in that meeting there was all of these decision makers? So that was an expensive meeting for them to have. Half an hour, hour, however long you were together. That's an expensive meeting for them to have. How do we reconcile that, right, with in this new space? So in this new trust-based selling, you're having these initial conversations. Where do you how do they evolve from the initial first phone call
sure,
through the process in this
sure.
that's different than the other one, I think is my
Sure. Okay.
question.
So I'll finish off the last pillar of the process here to help tie it together in your mind.
Oh,
Okay.
perfect.
So let's say you do this right. You go down the iceberg, you have that empathy, you ask those questions, you build a business case out, and you ask the question at the end, is this a priority? And the guy says to you, yeah, you're right. We gotta work, I gotta get onto this. You say this, you say, no problem. May I walk you through my roadmap process for how we go about addressing your issues? He says, "Sure, because so far, don't forget, you've given him 0 about you. You've not said a thing
And
about you the entire time. It's only been about him."
right,
He's, like, hungry for something. Then what
right,
you do is you create a visual diagram, left to right, a flowchart process that walks him through, not your solution, it's a meta step, but your framework for how you go about solving his problem. So in your case, if you're a consultant, it might be phase 1, we have a discovery phase where we unpack, do an assessment, and identify the ROI. Phase 2, I analyze that data to identify the priorities. Phase 3 might be a plan that
right,
prioritizes for issues. Phase 3, 4 is implementation, where we go on site, do the training, the workshops, get the team operational. And phase 5 is where we monitor the progress. I'm just making this up, but that in
yeah, yeah,
itself is a visual process. You show him on share screen and you walk him through the process of each stage, not your how much you charge, not your services, nothing about the solution, just the
right,
process, the framework for how you work. Because they have to buy your framework first before they can buy you. They need the
right,
structure in their mind to see they can trust you. Now, most consultants or people, they do that process verbally. They explain it with words. Oh, we get together, we have an assessment, that, and the guy's like, it goes in one ear, out the other ear. But when he
right,
sees it, he believes it. When they see your process, that's what they want, to feel comfortable visually with the structure, gives them peace of mind.
right,
Then walk them through it. You say this, you say, don't, here's one tip. Don't ever say, what questions do you have? They'll pick your brain for free forever and they'll be off the ski trail, so to speak, in the forest.
mm,
This, you say, what are your thoughts on the roadmap process, Mike? And he goes, looks at it and says, Makes sense. Of course, it's common sense. It's how you solve a problem. You do an assessment. It's not like it's like something,
Right.
and then you say
Yeah.
this, you say,
Not rocket science.
"No." Then you say, "Where would you like to go from here, Mike?" See, I'm creating space every step of the way. I'm not trying to move him forward. I'm creating space, letting him own each step. He's still judging you on your approach. He's hiring
Right.
on your approach, not your expertise.
Right.
It's a
Right.
different concept all because we're so wired to prove ourselves, to flex, to show him value. We got to give value. No, value has been commoditized. It's clarity that's not commoditized. Clarity on their own problems, all they need to hire you.
Right. Right. And that's a great point, even in how AI is shifting, right? Because everybody's like, oh, AI is going to take this job, AI is going to take that job. But you are so right. AI can create a visual for you. AI can help you do research if you prompt it properly. AI can be a great tool and a great assistant to us all as humans. I don't look at AI as technology. I look at it as a human assistant tool, right? That just happens to be tech. But it really is to help the weaknesses within the humans to be more productive, to be better, to be whatever. Um,
I'll give you a great example of this. I was
yeah.
coaching a sales team recently, and they're using all these fancy AI tools to do a lot of pre-research in advance of the first meeting with the clients. And that's a classic thing teams do. They do all these
Mhm.
AI tools, search the web, find the press releases, find the blog posts, and they know all about the company. That's their job. They show up for
Mhm.
they show me the recordings of these calls. They show up for these calls and they start talking about the person's company. I'm like, no, you got to focus on the problem, not the fact that you know their company. You you got to know their issues. They don't know how to get the problems, and they look so dumb on the call. I understand your background. I noticed your press release. I saw you on I'm like, that's rapport building. That's not. They don't want to
Yeah.
be. They don't want you to know them. They want you to know their problem. Like,
Right.
oh,
Right. You don't need to know them until after you sign the deal, because that's when you
yeah.
need to know how you're going to implementation,
All you
right?
have to know is the problems that your market has, and have a process to help them unpack it.
Right.
You don't have to even know
Right.
what they even do. Yeah, look at their
Right.
website. That's about it because everyone solves only a finite amount of problems. 3 to 5
Yeah.
problems is about it. So once you know those issues and you know your market and your ideal client, you just focus on unpacking the problems, not understanding their business.
Right. Right. The business is theirs to understand.
A
You
business is
don't need to.
called getting leads, making sales. Like it's not. There's no
Right.
value in that for them. Oh, great, you understand us. I'm like, okay, it's our problem you need to understand, not our business. We do mortgages. Great, you know that. That gets like, come on.
Right. I feel like you should turn this into like a business dating app. It is very much it is
Yes, thi-
may- maybe Bumble for business or something.
this is trust based communication, not trust based
Yeah.
selling. Think about it.
Yeah. I mean, and that really is it. It is about trust-based communication.
Yes, this is about it applies to marriage, kids, dating, any human relationship. Trust is necessary first.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a
Yeah.
game you're playing and you get ghosted.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
fact, one tip I'll offer your listeners right now is to never again, as of today, use the phrase follow up the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Never use an email, hi, I'm writing to follow up. Follow up is a sales word. It creates momentum and moves them towards the end goal of the sale. Instead, use this word. I'm just giving you a call to see if you have any feedback on our previous conversation. Any feedback
Yes.
on our last meeting. Feedback goes backwards towards the problem, not towards the solution.
Right. I love that. I love that. That is huge. I love to ask people for feedback. Um, and it's funny that you say that, because when I get emails that say follow up, it is almost like
Yes.
and I never made the connection until just now.
It
But you're
triggered
right.
stereotype of somebody chasing and pursuing you.
right. It is a negative connotation, right? Like we toss it out there like, "Oh, we're eager, we're," you know, but it's that hunting.
Correct.
Um, and so while hunting is great because you need to go find new businesses, but this is hunting more um intellectually, rather than with a spear.
Yeah, the
Right?
difference is you're creating inbound demand here.
Yeah,
You're not doing outbound prospecting anymore. This is
right.
the path of least resistance, okay? The path of most resistance is chasing the resistance, fighting the
Right.
battle, playing the numbers game. That's what the old sales things have been about. You gotta be macho. Get in there. Don't give up. Come on, keep chasing. Got to do some more numbers today. Yeah, high five, guys. Great day today. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
We're in a commoditized market now. You want to play the numbers game? No. Rather than a funnel, you got to create a
Right.
cylinder. A cylinder is
R
only your ideal clients and trust building only. You got to change, reframe the game.
So how do you start that, right? So if you're no longer going out to pursue, to
Yeah,
hunt
correct.
that way, how do you start that? How do you, because you could have a desk and a phone and just sit there and wait. What do you do to get the inbound coming in?
Yeah, so that's called becoming what I call a trusted authority to your market. And the way you do that is you package yourself as the authority on the problem that you solve, and you create what I call a trust asset.
Mm,
Trust asset is like a mini book of some sort, not a real book for Amazon, nothing like that, but like a small plain ride read book that articulates and describes the exact problems that you solve. Not a brochure about you or your story or about no IP, nothing about what you do in there, but just the problems that you solve. And you market the problems to the channels in which your ideal clients congregate into. So you are
right,
basically fishing out of a pond, and the trust asset is the fishing bait. So imagine, let's say you're going after, I don't know, business owners that own HVAC companies. There's probably
mhm,
associations across America that have associations of business owners that are HVAC oriented. They're HVAC associations, right? Or plumbers or whatever. You can then offer them a free gift, your book for free through the association for them to order to create inbound demand. They're ordering your book to come to you. Then you add in a consultation with the book order, which gets them on your calendar. Once you're on your calendar, then you do the one call sale. Then you become a client. That's our process. So our process is you draw them into your world by having a trust asset that describes their problem.
right,
They
right,
activate that way and schedule a meeting with you, discuss the problem. Now you're the doctor, and they're coming to you saying, "My shoulder hurts."
right. So and that helps because it sets the stage for trust up front.
Yeah, because 'cause you're not marketing your solution.
Right.
You're
And they're
marketing the
coming to
problem.
you, and
Yes.
they're coming to you. So it's not, the Nigerian prince scammer who's, emailing me or calling me, cold calling. This is really somebody that I have now sought out.
Yeah,
Right.
by default, they trust you because you started the process not trying to talk about you and your solution.
Right. I love that. I love that. Well, that was just super helpful for me because,
Yeah,
I mean, um, I've been at what I do for a really long time, and sales has never been my thing because I never sold. And frankly,
exactly.
I never got into it because of the reasons we just discussed,
Right.
right? I am such a person and a human that's about authenticity and
Yeah.
trust and truthfulness.
Yes.
Um, and because my domain is operational readiness and compliance and all of that, it's never the new sexy stuff, right?
Right.
Um, but it's the skeleton that holds the body up. It's the organs that keeps it breathing and moving. But nobody ever wants to see the insides, right? They just want to see the blingy outside.
Right.
Um, so this was super, super duper helpful for me. And I love how it's just real raw and honest. Like it's just,
Yes.
and it's so simple.
Yeah,
It's
it's
so,
all
why
about
did it
simplicity.
take so long?
Well, what I realize is complexity equals mistrust,
Mm,
simplicity equals trust.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you in your case, you need to package yourself as the authority on the problem that you solve and create an asset around that that basically has them trust you prior to meeting you.
Right.
If
Right.
you meet someone who doesn't know have that process in advance, then you're forced to talk about yourself. "Oh, what do you
Right.
do? What do you do? Oh," and you're
Right.
now in this chemistry mode. They're like, "Oh, nice to meet you. Great. Well, if I hear any opportunities, I'll let you know. Okay, great call.
Yeah.
Bye."
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah. 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 I've had many of those calls. I end up with that same face, like,
I
oh
know.
my god.
I
You know,
know.
or these networking events, right? You go to networking events.
Oh,
I get it.
right.
I do a lot of speaking engagements and things like that because I love to give back, hence the Give Back
Sure.
Lab. And that's why I do it. I will tell you that I really don't like to stick around for the end for that networking piece because it is all of that you just portrayed right
Correct.
there. The
Correct.
hey, how are you? How you doing? I love your glasses. I love your hair. Everything's fabulous. So
Correct.
great. It's like um shallow
Right.
conversation.
Right.
And then if it's not shallow conversation, any intellectual conversation that's had is usually just somebody in a hunt for something.
I'll give you an
Um,
example. I just talked to a financial advisor, one of my clients. He was telling me that he gets referrals, introductions from his clients, but they end up and he ends up on a call with people, but they don't really end up having any problems he can solve. They just were referred to him to get to know him, and nothing ever
right,
happens from it. He's like,
right,
and I told him, "You stop getting introductions, instead get consultations." What that
right,
means is have your referral sources tell the person they're gonna refer to them that the way you work is you start with a consultation to discuss their issues, not a social introduction. Those are social norms, not business norms, and he couldn't move from social to business because he was stuck starting with social. Meet John.
right.
Great, I'm not looking for a friend. You know?
Right, right. My roster's full. My dance card is full.
I'm
I'm all
married,
pulled up.
it's like, "Okay, meet John." Really?
My dance card's all pulled up.
Exactly. I'm not looking
I
for
get it. I get it.
I'm a doctor. I solve problems. Come to me with your problem. Hence why they have to know their problem in advance before they
Right,
come to you.
right. And that asset piece is a great way for them to do some reflective thinking to say, "Holy crap, I have this problem I didn't even know I had."
Right? They go, "Oh my god, she gets me. She
Right,
understands me." That's exactly
right,
what I was thinking about. And there's a moment
right,
of sense of, "Oh my god, I found her."
right, right. That's I mean, and that's actually it's super intuitive for me. I mean, and I mean, I get it. It that this whole thing speaks to me. It
Yes.
makes me as a person who's not comfortable in sales feel more comfortable, feel more aligned.
Right? Because you
I
can be
think that
yourself. You don't have to put a
y-
role on anymore.
yeah, it's just be a human. And I
Correct.
love that. And I love that we had this conversation because I think that everybody can really use this for themselves, whether they're in a sales role or not, right? If you are in a business role of any sort, you're
Correct.
selling to your boss, to the
Correct.
board, to your VP, to your C suite. We are all salespeople in some way, shape, or form, whether we're selling a product, a widget, you know, out as a job, or we need to sell the product that we're producing, right,
Right.
through our work, to even our bosses or peers or whatever it is. Um, I mean, everybody, right? Students to teachers. I love the whole doctor analogy because that resonates. I think everybody can really understand. And I love it because it's a way to go into a meeting and remind yourself of that pause you talk about, right? Because that's exactly what doctors do.
They don't make
You,
assumptions.
you tell me.
It's malpractice and unethical for them to assume anything. They'll go to jail.
Right, 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 right. And so I love that. And I am going to embrace that
Love it.
whole feeling. I love it. I have had such a great conversation with you. Thank you so much for giving me time. Is there I would love to just close out our session with some strong words or trust words, whatever it is,
Sure.
that you would like to leave the audience with.
I would just say the big idea from today is that you have permission to stop selling yourself. Stop selling your solution because you're actually hurting yourself and hurting your opportunities. They don't want to hear about your solution, even though they think they do. They want to feel that you understand them at a deep level. So shift to problem-centric thinking. And I have a new book just came out called Trust in a Split Second. If you want a copy of that, just go to thetrustbook.com. I'll send it to you for free in the mail, put a stamp on the envelope, and you have a chance to speak with us if you want as well. And I think if you get your head around this, you'll be way ahead of the curve. Everyone else is going to be hitting a wall pretty soon, given AI coming and just playing the numbers game.
I love it. Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure to be with you today, and I hope that you come back and join us in the future and give us some updates on what's happening. Listen, honestly, if I could ever be a fly on the wall on any of your coaching sessions, I'd love to learn from just watching and observing.
Sounds good.
I love it. Thank you so much. Have a blessed rest of your year and
Sure.
a happy new year.
For
And
sure.
I will see you hopefully again in the new year.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today at the Give Back Lab. It's Daniela, and I will see you next year. Bye. Thanks for joining us today in the Give Back Lab. If today's conversation moved you, challenged you, or made you just feel seen, share it forward. That's how change begins. Until next time, keep showing up, keep speaking truth, and giving back in your own way. The lab is always open.